Something unusual just happened in Raleigh's housing market, and most people haven't even noticed it yet. For the first time since before COVID, we've hit 2.4 months supply of housing. During the pandemic, buyers were resorting to large, non-refundable due diligence deposits, sometimes up to $100,000 just to get a house under contract. Now the entire playbook has changed, and if you're buying or selling right now, you need to understand what this means. Let me tell you why. Do you remember when you could drive to Whole Foods and see more California license plates than North Carolina ones? Well, I do, and that's not an exaggeration. That was Raleigh during COVID, and it caused a housing crisis nobody ever expected. So when the pandemic started, people all over the country moved to Raleigh. Remote work meant that you could work from anywhere, and during the pandemic, Raleigh received significant migration from expensive coastal areas, especially from California and other high-cost metros. Everyone loved what Raleigh, North Carolina offered, so they came fast and they came in huge numbers. Relocation got so heavy in our area that we had less than 1 month's worth of inventory. Now really think about that. Buyers had no choices. People were putting down large, non-refundable deposits and overbidding other buyers just to buy a home. Open houses literally had lines wrapped around the block. And on top of all that craziness, interest rates were extremely low during COVID. People were locking in at rates at historic lows. The 30-year fix dropped to 2.65% in January of 21, and that combination created the perfect storm. So now the market conditions I'm about to explain in a few minutes completely flip from that situation, so stick with me. But first, let me explain the shift. When we fast forward to right now, and we've officially crossed into that 2.4 month inventory range, the most recent data shows Raleigh is moving towards a more balanced market after years of severe housing shortage. Houses are staying on the market longer than they have before. Not insanely longer, but noticeably longer. So what's caused this? During those wild COVID years, the market expanded quickly to keep up with the demand, and builders were putting up homes everywhere, even in places people didn't think of as great locations. The builders expanded wherever they could build. Now the market has slowed down and growth isn't anywhere near what it was during COVID. So all those homes that got built in the slower areas are now sitting on the market longer. However, don't be fooled. Great homes in top areas are selling quickly. Top homes, top areas will sell in 10 days or less, while the overall market logs in at about 40 plus days on the market. And wait until you hear what this means for home pricing strategy. I'm going to break down the price reduction stat in just a minute, and it's going to change how you think about listing your home, so stay with me. Now here's the simple explanation. Buyers now have choices. There's more supply, and buyers finally have options that they haven't had in years in our area. That shift from panic buying to having options changes everything about how this market works. And since buyers now have the advantage, let's talk about exactly what buyers should be doing right now. A quick note before we go any further, if you're trying to figure out what this inventory shift means for you and your personal situation in Raleigh, I help buyers and sellers handle these exact market changes every day, and my contact details are in the description below, so please don't hesitate to reach out. So with all these changes, where does this put buyers right now? Here's a question most people aren't asking. With all this inventory sitting there, what's the smart move? I want to make this practical because the difference between helpful market advice and useless content is whether you can actually use it. First you need to understand how I look at real estate. I see all real estate as an investment. This has worked out well for me and my business. I want you to buy the best location you can afford, even if that means you're buying a smaller home, even if it doesn't have as much space as you originally wanted it to have. Now, you might say to me, Marti, I don't care as much about the investment side of my home. And I just want my family to live comfortably until my kids finish high school. If that's your main goal, that could point you towards a different area, and we would look at your home search completely differently. But I look at real estate as an investment because for most Americans, their home is where most of their money is tied up. So if they make a bad choice here, it can seriously hurt their future. When I talk about location, I'm talking about being close to places like Research Triangle Park, established neighborhoods with mature trees, and strong school systems. In general, the faster moving, more sought after homes and neighborhoods. These factors hold value when the market slows down and increase in value faster when the market is strong. So with the inventory higher and pressure lower, here's my advice to home buyers. Buy when nobody else is buying. That usually means winter. And right now is a great time to buy a home. You've got more inventory than you've seen in years. You've got more sellers who actually need to sell, and builders are offering deals to lower the inventory levels. Let's face it, builders don't build homes to live in them. They build homes to sell them. So I'm working in neighborhoods right now where homes at the end of the community are selling for less than homes sold at the beginning of the community. So builders are offering incentives to move inventory. Builders don't sit on inventory when they can help it. They cut the price and offer incentives. So when I say incentives, I mean real money. Some builders are offering up to $20,000 in flex cash, and that can go towards a rate buy down or closing cost or upgrades of your choice. Others are offering temporary rate buy downs where your first year's rate can be as low as 2.875% with a 2-1 structure. And these aren't tricks. These are real ways to lower your payment or your upfront cost. So buyers have a lot going for them right now. More options, motivated sellers, builder deals. And when you do what most people aren't doing, you're really heading in the right direction. That's the buyer side. But sellers need to pay close attention because this is where things get real. What sellers must understand is that around 50% of homes listed in Raleigh will end up reducing their price, and that is costing home sellers thousands on their final sales price. Here's a stat I think you need to know if you're serious about selling in Raleigh in 2026. When homes end up reducing price, they typically sell for less overall, but homes that are priced correctly from day one sell faster and for a higher percentage of their list price. So the best homes, properly priced and well marketed, sell in about 10 days, and some even with multiple offers. Average homes take 40 to 60 days on the market, and that means if you price your home wrong, you usually sell for less. If you price it right out of the gate, good things happen, and you sell quickly and for more money. The best homes sell fast, and that's the truth, and the data proves it. Pricing correctly doesn't mean pricing high and hoping for somebody to fall in love with your home. It means looking at what similar homes in your area actually sold for in the last 30 to 60 days and adjusting for your home's condition and features and pricing at or slightly below that number. The goal is to have strong activity in the first few weeks and days on the market, and ideally to have multiple offers within the first 2 weeks. The next part matters a lot because the agent you choose often decides which category your home will end up in. Those numbers tell the whole story. Price it right and win fast. Price it wrong and deal with the reductions and following the market to downward and a lower final price. The data doesn't lie. So here's some facts about today's market. This is not the same market it used to be, and holding on to 2022 thinking will cost you real money. Too many sellers are stuck in the past. My team, we're selling about 30 to 50 homes a month, and when you're this active in the market, you can feel what's happening on the ground before you ever hear about it. Most sellers who reduced their price led their own listing. They told their agent what price they wanted. The agent agreed just to get the listing, and that's a problem. There's a real cost to listing your home the wrong way. And why working with an agent who will push back and tell you the truth matters so much. Not everyone who just says yes to everything. Pricing correctly is the most important skill you can offer a home seller. It matters more than staging, it matters more than upgrades, it matters more than anything in our current market. So get it right on day one and you've doubled your chances of being one of the homes that sells fast and for top dollar. You need someone using current data, not old strategies. And there's one more mistake sellers make all the time. Another big mistake sellers make is spending money on the wrong places. Most sellers either overdo home improvements or don't do enough. Very few get it just right. So before you spend money on renovations, talk to us about what actually is worth doing. Some improvements increase your sales price, others just waste your money, and some are considered home maintenance by home buyers. So selling as is a whole different story that I can't go into in this video, maybe next time. For my clients, we offer something called fix and sell. If you need paint or carpet or an update to a bathroom or kitchen, we find the best priced vendors, finance it, make those improvements, and get paid back at closing if you have the equity. So we focus on improvements with the best return. An example would be fresh paint and new carpet can often return 100% or more because the house shows better and photographs better. But a $30,000 kitchen remodel might only return 60 or 70%. So we skip expensive changes that don't pay off and focus on what buyers really care about. Smart improvements help your home hit that sweet spot that we talked about earlier, which is the difference between strong offers and price cuts. So here's the bottom line. Raleigh is at 2.4 months of inventory as of the first quarter of 2026. This is the most significant shift since the pandemic's extreme shortage. The market expanded fast, growth slowed, and now inventory is sitting, especially in the surrounding areas of Raleigh. So buyers have more options than they've had in years. Focus on the best location that you can possibly afford, even if that means buying a little smaller. Buy during the winter, use the inventory and builder incentives to your advantage, and sellers can get the advantage by understanding that nearly 50% of other listings are going to end up reducing their price. But if you price your home correctly, you're going to sell faster and for more money. Price it right from day one. Work with somebody who tells you the truth. Don't waste money on low return improvements. The market isn't what it used to be. The rules have changed a little, and if you understand what's really happening, you can make smart decisions. In conclusion, that 2.4 months inventory shift matters because it separates people who adapt from people who keep making old decisions with old information. The market's already moved and your strategy needs to move with it. So if you're ready to position yourself correctly, whether you're buying this winter or selling your home, to hit the fast sell window that I've known about for years, email me at Marti@martihampton.com today, and let's plan your next move. Also, check out the video I linked about the biggest mistake costing people when they move to Raleigh. When Raleigh is adding over 33,000 residents between 20 and 24, understanding location strategy is critical. I'll see you in the next one.